Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, feeling like something was pressing down on your chest like a heavy stone, making it hard to breathe deeply? I used to think sleep troubles were just for young people. Too much coffee, too many thoughts. But then one night, I heard my grandmother breathing. It was faint, but heavy, steady, and struggling. The night lamp cast a soft yellow glow across her face, and I saw it 2 thick blankets wrapped tight around her, and 4 different pillows piled behind her neck. She tried to turn, but couldn't. She reached for the blanket, but her arms were too tired to pull it away. The next morning, she just sat there, quiet on the edge of the bed. When I asked, she smiled gently and said, "Maybe the wind changed last night." I felt a bit breathless, but deep down, I knew it wasn't the wind. Every morning, I started noticing small things. Her shoulders ached, her eyes were a little swollen, her steps slower than the day before. At first, I thought, maybe it was just old age, but then I saw it clearly. The very things she thought were comforting her, those soft pillows, those heavy quilts, were actually holding her down. Each night, they were pressing on her chest, tightening her sleep without a sound. And I began to wonder, could it be the comfort she trusted was quietly stealing her breath? Sleep should set you free. There were nights when Grandma would wake up the same way, her hand resting softly on her chest, then a gentle breath out. No bad dreams, no strange sounds, just a quiet pressure, settling on her chest like a quiet visitor, light, but it stayed. At first, we all thought it was just aging, the heart slowing down, the lungs not what they used to be, but something didn't add up. Each morning, she added another blanket. Each night, she reached for one more pillow. For warmth, she'd say, to feel safe, not so alone. But the more she wrapped herself in comfort, the harder it became for her to truly rest. She couldn't turn easily at night, her breath no longer deep. Her head stayed in one place, stiff and tilted. And each morning, she'd sit up slowly, one hand gripping the bed frame, the other pulling gently at her nightgown, as if those same soft pillows and warm quilts had quietly pinned her down in her sleep. I remember something I read from a sleep expert. They said for older adults, adding more pillows or heavy blankets often comes from a need to feel safe. But too much weight pressing on the chest can slow breathing during sleep. It raises the heart rate, and over time makes it harder for the body to breathe deeply on its own. One night, I stood quietly by the door. She was turning in her sleep, a pillow pressed into her belly, her neck bent forward like a fragile branch under snow. And I remembered something a friend once told me. The neck is the bridge between the mind and the body, and when that bridge bends, the wind can't pass through as it should. Could it be that all the comfort she held onto was slowly tightening her breath? Could it be the warmth she trusted had become a cocoon too tight to sleep in? Something soft but suffocating. Sometimes the very things we cling to for peace can quietly steal it from us. It was early morning, the sky outside still wrapped in mist. I sat quietly, watching Grandma fold her blanket. No words about pain, no sighs about soreness, just one long breath, longer than usual. And as she leaned forward to smooth the blanket, I noticed something small, but clear. She moved slowly, like her neck or her chest had been strained during the night. Beside her, a tall stack of pillows, big ones, small ones, a long body pillow tucked to the side. It looked soft, but towering, like a gentle fortress she'd built to feel safe. I asked her softly, "Grandma, do you ever feel short of breath at night?" She paused, then nodded slowly. "Maybe it's just old age," she whispered, But yes, it feels like something heavy rests on my chest every night. That's when a quiet question rose inside me, one I had never thought to ask before. Could it be? Those pillows weren't holding her up, but slowly, holding her down. I looked at each pillow with new eyes, the one behind her back, the one laying across her belly, the one under her neck, all of them soft, all of them meant to comfort. But together, they created a quiet weight pressing on her chest night after night. No one had taught her how to choose a pillow for an aging body. No one said that too much support can take away the breath the body needs to rest. Each pillow was once a gift of comfort, but stacked together, they turned deep breaths into shallow ones, a peaceful sleeper into someone who feared turning in the night. And in that quiet morning light, as a breeze slipped through the open window, I saw it in her eyes. She wasn't just tired, she was slowly being weighed down by the very things she thought would protect her. That night, I brought something new into her room, a small body pillow, light, long, soft, like an autumn scarf. I knelt beside her and said, "Grandma, let's try just this one tonight to support your arm. The others, let's set them aside just for one night." She looked at me, then turned to her familiar pile of pillows, the ones she'd slept with for years. Her eyes, hesitant, a little afraid. She whispered, "Without all those pillows, I'm afraid I'll feel too exposed, dear." I understood. To her, those pillows weren't just for comfort. They were safety, a wrap for the heart, something to hold on to in the quiet dark. But still, she gave it a try. We chose just 3 things. One soft, low pillow for her back, one gentle body pillow across her belly to rest her hand, and one thin blanket, just enough to cover her gently. I turned off the lamp, opened the curtain just a little, to let in a thread of porch light, soft as silk on her skin. Before I left the room, I turned back. She was lying still, her hands not gripping anything, just resting gently on that small pillow, like a new habit, quietly blooming. That night, I didn't hear the usual tossing, no rustling blankets, no sharp gasping breaths, just the ticking of the clock, steady and slow, and a strange feeling, as if the whole room was breathing easier with her. The first 2 nights, she didn't say a word. She just woke up a little earlier, didn't reach for the pile of pillows like she used to. I asked her, "Did you sleep okay?" She nodded softly. "Not too bad, but it does feel strange." By the 4th morning, something changed, small, but to me, it was everything. She stepped out to the porch, a warm cup of tea in her hands. She didn't gasp for air, didn't stretch with that stiff, aching face. She just sat, hands relaxed, eyes calm, as if nothing heavy had pressed on her chest the night before. I watched as she turned her neck gently, not from pain, but like someone who had truly rested. She looked down and said almost to herself, "My back feels less stiff," and I knew this was the beginning. I glanced into her bedroom, just one low pillow behind her, one soft body pillow beside her, and a light blanket, folded neatly at the foot of the bed. No more mountain of cushions, no crowding, no clutter, and maybe, just maybe, her sleep no longer felt so crowded either. She didn't speak much about it, but from that day on, each night before bed, I saw her quietly removing one more pillow, folding away one more layer. Not because I reminded her, not because I told her to, but because her body had felt what was right, and now it remembered. There's something most people never say out loud, but it's true. Sleep doesn't come from holding tight. It comes from learning how to let go. Just enough. Older folks like my grandma have a quiet instinct. When they feel anxious or lonely, they hold things close. A body pillow, a thick blanket, one more cushion behind the back. They believe the heavier it feels, the safer they are. But in sleep, that heavy comfort can turn into a hidden weight. The chest sinks, the shoulders curl in, the air can't go deep enough, and the brain, it doesn't get the oxygen it needs to enter real healing dreams. I remember something a sleep expert once said: air reaching deep is the foundation for deep sleep. And this surprised me. Even just 500 grams a small pillow in the wrong spot can make the heart beat 5 to 10 times faster every minute. For someone older, that's a lot. That's the heart working harder all night when it should be resting. And every time they shift from discomfort, every time their chest tightens, a dream is broken. Then morning comes, and they feel tired without knowing why. So here's the first thing we can do: something gentle, something simple. Learn to remove a little. Take away just one extra pillow, one heavy layer, one small pressure on the chest. Give the body room to breathe, to expand, to soften, to rest. Because before the mind can drift, the breath must be free. Once we understood the simple truth that lighter means easier breathing, we began to make changes. Not with machines, not with medicine, not by replacing the bed, just by adjusting what was already there. Small steps, but they made all the difference. The first change, we reduced the number of pillows, just one soft pillow for her head, and one light, half-length body pillow for her to rest her arm on. We chose the right size, about 7 to 10 centimeters in height, medium soft. Not too thick under the shoulders, just gently placed under the neck. And the body pillow. It didn't press on her chest, it simply gave her the quiet feeling of being gently hugged. The second change, we swapped the heavy blanket for something light and breathable. A soft 2-layer cotton blanket, warm, but not heavy. And if it got too cold, we added a thin layer, but only near her feet, not over her chest. Why? Because when the legs stay warm and the chest stays free, the breath moves deeper, and the body can rest easier. The third change, we gently adjusted her sleep position. She lay on her left side, one arm resting softly on the light body pillow, not pressed into her chest, not curled up into her neck, just relaxed, open, at peace. This way her shoulder softened, her hand stayed still, and her breath became deeper, more stable, more natural. After just a few nights, Grandma stopped waking at 2 a.m. No more tossing to adjust the blanket. No more gasps for air, just quiet, steady. Uninterrupted sleep, I called it. 3 light steps to open the door for sleep, to breathe. The solution isn't just in the pillow or the blanket. It's also in the way we treat the bed as a quiet, sacred place, a space to clear the body and soften the mind. One evening, the child shared with Grandma a new little ritual. Before we go to sleep, they said, let's tidy up a little. Not just the bed, but also the thoughts that feel heavy tonight. First, they smoothed the bed. With gentle hands, they folded away the day's messiness, blanket edges tucked in, pillow adjusted just so. And something strange happened. As the hands moved slowly, the mind began to slow down too. A sense of calm found its way in. Then, they turned off the harsh white light. And in its place, a soft amber glow filled the room. Not bright, not loud, just warm. Like candlelight resting on the wall, the body seemed to know. Night has come. It's time to release. And finally, they wrote or read something gentle. One line of gratitude or a short old poem. Something simple, like, today the sky is still, So is my heart. No yoga, no medicine, just 5 quiet minutes. To tell the body now is the time to breathe slow, to breathe even, to breathe gently, because when the bed is calm and the breath is calm, sleep comes closer, not as a struggle, but as a friend, returning home. There was a time when my grandma quietly turned in the middle of the night. Not because of a nightmare, not because of pain, but because her body couldn't find peace, couldn't find a place to settle. She believed maybe more pillows would help. Maybe more blankets would fill the quiet. Until one night, her breath started breaking, and she whispered, "It feels like I'm being pressed down." But maybe it's me pressing on myself. No loud cries, no dramatic signs, just one morning she sat with her tea and didn't smile. The smile that always met the rising sun was missing. So if you or someone you love has ever woken in the night with a heavy chest, a tight neck, a heart that feels too fast, try this tonight. Fold one pillow away, fold one blanket away, and leave on the bed only a body gently embraced by its own breath. You don't have to change everything, just begin by holding less, so that sleep has the space to hold you back. And if tomorrow morning your chest feels a little lighter, come back here and tell me how sleep embraced you last night. Because sometimes letting go is the gentlest way to rest.